What's up, guys? Welcome back. And I know what you're thinking. You don't have to say anything. I know what you're thinking. Justin, you finally shaved. And yes, you are correct. I finally did. But I also got Stunfisk on the team. So let's talk about that. So I needed Stunfisk on my team because the other day I ran into Galvantula and it just wrecked my entire team. When I had Deoxys, it hit me with a bug buzz and like basically one-shotted me. Then it's like discharges finished off my Skarmory in Mantine. It was pretty embarrassing. So I realized I need some ground moves on my team to kind of cover against my electric weakness. So that's why I'm running Stunfisk on this team now. This team is overall so far it's okay. Today I went 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, but I made some dumb mistakes. Then I went 2-3. Also made a couple of mistakes. Then I went 1-4, which was, I still think I could have overall ended up positive for the day, but because I'm so inexperienced with this team, I lost some matches that I could have won. Now, but for today's video, I'm just going to show one set, and I'm going to focus on 3 leads because Mantine is so complicated to like learn because Bubble Beam lowering the attack on your opponent. It changes a lot of matchups that are normally pretty straightforward. So that's why it's so tough. But if you can master those, man, like I really do feel like you can win so many more matches because you're capitalizing on your knowledge. And that's kind of like, I'm trying to think of an analogy, but basically any game where knowledge is like the key component to winning, it's kind of really important. I don't even know what I'm saying. But anyways, I hope you get the picture. Anyways, let's just go straight into the battles and we'll talk about the leads and we'll focus on the leads specifically because otherwise you're just seeing battles. I want you to take some information away from today so you can apply it if you're using Mantine on your team. But it's a cool Pokemon. I like it. So let's just get into it. Ready, go. All right, so first battle is against is the most popular lead right now in Great League, Azumarill. So he makes a mistake by switching, but that probably was, I guess, smart because you can beat Azumarill with Mantine. Okay, let me repeat that. You can beat Azu in the lead with Mantine. The way you do it is, and I researched this after I did these battles. I should have researched it before, but I was too impatient. I just wanted to battle, so I just kept battling. I should have just researched it before I continued. But anyways, the way you beat Azu is you shield the first 2 attacks, and then you throw the bubble beams during that time. I think 2 bubble beams. And then after that, you just go straight Ice Beam, and then you will win that matchup. Okay, so here he has a pretty weird team composition, and he gave up switch advantage, so it kind of put me in a pretty good spot to win this match. So let's just see what happens. So I hit him with the discharge. I switch back out to catch this Ice Beam with Mantine because Ice Beam is super effective against Stunfisk. But yeah, so we go Bubble Beam again, and it does so little damage. But it's really not there to do damage. It's there to like lower the attack. That's kind of like that's the reason that move exists. So anyways, all right. So Ice Beam still does a chunk, but we're gonna switch out and we're gonna put Skarmory back in. This is a pretty straightforward matchup because Skarmory super effective against fighting, flying, and he quits. Yeah. So awesome win there. We start out with a 1-0. All right. This next lead is pretty much one of the worst leads you could run into. Ferrothorn is actually, the moves that it has hits for super effective damage on everything on this team. The Thunder hits super effective, obviously, double super effective against Mantine, super effective against Skarmory, and then Power Whip is super effective against Stunfisk. If you can lead Skarmory into a Ferrothorn, you can beat it in the lead matchup, but switching into a Skarmory, they're probably just going to switch out anyways. So, or if they, I don't know. It's not going to be like the easiest situation. So anyways, yeah, Ferrothorn, hopefully you just don't run into Ferrothorns a lot in the lead. Luckily, it is not a common lead. Like, this was the only lead Ferrothorn I saw the entire day. So 25 battles, only 1 Ferrothorn lead. So it's not something you have to worry about too much. There's always going to be one Pokemon that's like your kryptonite, so you can't really cover against everything. So yeah, I don't consider it too bad. Plus, maybe your opponent messes up, makes a mistake, doesn't shield something. You know, if you can land an Ice Beam or two, you could still maybe pull out a win. Who knows? And who knows what they have in the back. So yeah, don't give up, but it is, yeah, it's not going to look good if you run into a Ferrothorn. Nope, no siree. Okay, so we have Azu, and so I'm going Sky Attack here. I believe Flash Cannon does more damage, but obviously it takes a lot more energy, so usually Sky Attack is the way to go. Ice Beam, we block it. I'm trying to farm it. Just as I do get the farm, so that is awesome. And then Altaria comes in, and then yeah, I can only get one Sky Attack off. The Dragon Breaths are gonna faint me down pretty quick. Altaria is still a solid Pokemon. I mean, I keep thinking like I want to put it back in the team. It's just such a solid, especially because when I found out the most winning team last season had Altaria on it. Yeah, I'm still thinking about it, but we'll see. I do like Stunfisk. Man, Stunfisk is so spammy. I love that about Stunfisk. It's so spammy, which is awesome. And so, okay, we're going to get a hit with a Sky Attack. Sky Attack doesn't do too much damage. Oh, Dragon Pulse. Whoops. That one does more damage. And he took advantage of the fact that I didn't have shields. So that was the best move to throw. But he switches out, and we hit Ferrothorn with a ground move, which is neutral. Grass resists it, but Steel is weak to it, so it's neutral. Yeah, so... Okay, here we go. We just barely get the the discharge, but it is not... Yeah, it is just not enough. We time out. That happens a lot with Mantine. You do time out, because a lot of those lead matchups take, like, forever. Like, 2 minutes. Full 2 minutes to beat. Okay, Umbreon. Let's talk about Umbreon. Yeah, so anyways... With Umbreon, and here is what a critical mistake I made in this entire set. This dumb decision I made cost me from going... I could have gone 4-1, but instead I went 3-2. So, I didn't know at the time, to beat Umbreon, you also want to shield twice, and then start throwing Ice Beams. If you can land a single Ice Beam on an Umbreon, you're pretty much in good shape to win the matchup, because they're not going to shield a lot. Bubble Beam does such little damage. You see how many times they're not shielding. It's very, very easy to land an Ice Beam. If they shield at the right time and shield both your Ice Beams, yeah, they're probably going to win, but it's just not likely to happen. So, watch. Ice Beam. Let's see if he shields. Watch me feel stupid when he shields. No, see? So I told you, they don't shield very often, so that puts you in a really good spot. Now, had I used my second shield, I could have pretty much clinched this matchup. So I just didn't play it very well. So that's why you have to research the matchup, find that optimal strategy. Usually with Bubble Beam, you do want to shield up front and then start throwing Ice Beams. But yeah, I gave up my switch advantage there by keeping my shield. And man, did that cost me this match. Look at what they have. So they bring in Lantern, which would have been perfect for my Stunfisk because the ground moves were super effective. I could have... and then they had Meganium, which... Oh my god, Skarmory would have just ate that thing up. Oh my gosh. So you see how I couldn't line my Pokemon. That's because I gave up switch advantage. And that... Had I used a shield, I would have won that Umbreon matchup, and I would have gone 4-1. Yeah, it sucks that little decisions like that cost you the whole... You know, I mean, it's a difference of like almost 20 points. Like going 3-2, depending on your rating, you can only make as little as 3 points. You could lose points, but usually it's like 8 to 10 points. But a 4-1, you can go like 25 to 30 points. So it's like a huge point difference from going 4-1 and 3-2. So, man, yeah, really, really bummed about that. It seems to happen a lot. Like I go 3-2 and I'm like, there's so many times where I could have easily gone 4-1. So frustrating, and the rating system's so penalizing. So anyways, we lose that matchup. That was a tough one. Okay, next matchup, we have a good lead, finally, like a really, really good lead. So, Alolan Marowak, I'm waiting for him to switch. I get my switch tray up. So here I decide to throw a Bubble Beam before I switch, and then I'm kind of like thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. Azu's moves are super effective against Stunfisk, I kind of hesitate, but it kind of worked out because it allowed Azu to unload energy before I switched. And so, even though I let it farm a little bit, it was like, it kind of worked out better because I got another Bubble Beam off before I switched. So now I'm not as worried now about running the Stunfisk against Azu matchup. I let the Ice Beam go through. You can see it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And then he switches back into Marowak because I took forever to switch. So the clock ran out. He switches, but that's fine because I got Mud Bomb. Stunfisk is good against Marowak and Azu, which is a good reason why I like it so much. So I'm just gonna keep throwing Mud Bombs. I'm gonna shield this because Ground is super effective against us, and Shadow Ball does a lot of damage too. And so I'm just shielding just to be safe. I throw a Mud Bomb and then I switch back into my Mantine. So I'm kind of like going back to the lead matchup. And Bubble Beam does a nice chunk damage on just because Marowak's weak to water. And then Azu's back in. So it's kind of like going back and forth here. I'm just throwing Bubble Beams at the Azu. It's kind of just repeating itself. Kind of a funny matchup if you think about it. The way this battle played out. Okay, so we have Bubble Beam again. We're going to throw another one. And okay, so now his attack fell. At this point, there's really no point in shielding. Yeah, we're way too low. So I'm going to let it go. And its attack is lowered. And here is where I probably could have got away with not shielding because it was an Ice Beam. But it would have been really close. So I shield anyways, just to be safe. I do a discharge on Skarmory. And it does so much damage. I love it. And Skarmory's not going to be able to get to a Sky Attack. So yeah, pretty unfortunate for that Skarmory. Poor little steel bird. Alright, Sky Attack. And I still outlast it. Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay. So now we come in with Skarmory, and this is usually not a good matchup. But because we have such full health and Marowak is so low, I'm able to farm it down. And then we can get a Sky Attack off right in the nick of time, and we win this matchup. So that was awesome. Good games there. That was a close one. I hesitated a little bit on that switch in the beginning, but it ended up working out because I still had switch advantage, so it kind of gave me a little bit of time to figure that out. But anyways, last matchup, we have Reef Engineer and Registeel. Let's talk about Registeel. Hopefully you guys are still with me in this video. Hopefully you didn't click away. Believe it or not, Registeel is an even easier matchup to win. All you have to do is shield one Flash Cannon, and you can go straight Bubble Beam and still win that matchup. It might be close if you only shield once, but if you shield twice, it's a super easy matchup. But let's say you want to save your shield the first one, and then try to land one Ice Beam, and then you should be good to just go Bubble Beam the rest of the way, and you should be fine to win that matchup. So yeah, I didn't realize how good Mantine was against Registeel until I was playing it. I'm like, wow, this is going really well. so yeah, Bubble Beam again. And because Flash Cannon is normally resisted, when it's like debuffed, it's super weak. Which you saw in the last video. I believe I did show that in the last video. Okay, and then Altaria is another one of the elite Pokemon that you could totally win if you just land one single Ice Beam, which is not that hard to do because Bubble Beam is like, they don't want to waste a shield on a Bubble Beam, so a lot of times they won't shield, and so it's pretty nice when you can land an Ice Beam on Altaria. Okay, so now we're in with Skarmory, and in the one shield matchup, Skarmory can win against an Altaria, but in the two shield, Altaria wins. Alright, so Sky Attack does a nice chunk damage. They're definitely going to get a Sky Attack off. And I believe I don't shield because I still got a good chunk of health left. And it doesn't do a lot of damage, so I don't want to waste a shield on that. I think I'm just going for the farm down here. We just get it. That was pretty close. That felt pretty close. Okay, we got a Flash Cannon coming at the Registeel, and then we have a Meganium, and then they quit because we have a shield, so we most likely will still win that matchup. So Yeah, alright, so there you go. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Man, I had so many bonus battles I wanted to put in this video, like literally 3 or 4. Made some solid plays, and they were so good. So I might put that in tomorrow's video. But yeah, there's so much to learn about Mantine still, so I might be making a video tomorrow, maybe 2 Sunday. I'm not sure yet. I got a lot of battles I want to show. So please subscribe if you want to see some more content. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.